Now let's talk about solving equations, and what do I mean by that? I mean putting the variable, so the xyz number that we're interested in, on one side of the equal sign, and all the numerical values on the other. And how do you do that? You do that by doing the same thing to both sides of the equation to try and work through that and get it on its own. Do the same to both sides of the equation, and you do that while remembering the order of operations. So I'm just going to show you a few examples. I think everyone should be alright with this, to be honest, but let's just go through a couple anyway. So if you've got x minus 2 is equal to 9, we want to solve that equation. What we need to do is get x on its own on one side of the equal sign. So how do I do that? If I want x on my own, then I need to get on its own, then I need to get rid of the minus 2. So I could do that by adding 2. So that will end up as x plus 0, basically. But then I have to do it also to the other side of the equation. So that leaves us with x equals 11. Now how about if I've got p divided by 4 is equal to 10. Then here what I need to do is get rid of the divided by 4. And how would I do that? What's the opposite of divided by 4? Times 4. So that ends up as basically p times 1. But I also have to multiply the other side by 4 as well. So that leaves me with p equals 40. How about if we've got something like 300 is equal to 75 plus y squared? Then first of all I'm going to choose to do this the other way round, so I think people often like to have the variables on the left, so let's do that. We can just flip them over, that's fine. So let's have y squared plus 75 equal to 300. And I need to subtract 75 from both sides to get rid of, to have get y on its own there. So that gives me y squared equals 225. And then now I want to get rid of the exponent of the squared, so I'm going to do that by doing the square root, and I need to do the square root of both sides. So that leaves us with y being equal to 15. Alright, so we just do one thing at a time and work our way down, and it'll be fine. So how about 2x plus 4 over 3 equal to 5? This one's going to take a bit longer, isn't it? It's a bit more complicated. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of this divided by 3. So I need to so having 3 as the denominator of the fraction is the same as saying divided by 3, so I have to multiply by 3. So then I also have to multiply the right hand side by 3. So that gives us 2x plus 4 equals 15. Now what do we have left? We want to get rid of this plus 4, don't we? So 2x. How do I do that? By subtracting 4 from both sides. So that gives us 2x equals 11. Now I want to get rid of this times 2, so I do that by dividing by 2 on both sides, so that gives me x is equal to 11 over 2, or we could divide those and that gives us 5.5. So the main thing is just to do the same thing to both sides, one thing at a time, and you need to isolate your variable such as x on its own and all the numerical values on the other side of the equation.